You're listening to Hotepish with your host, Dwan B. Intelligent ish talk, intelligent shit talk, where we balance the profound with the profane. Political satire, celebrity and expert guests, information and entertainment, conversation and solutions. Leave your feelings at the door.
What up, y'all? What up, y'all?
You're listening to Hotepish with your host, Dwan B. Intelligent ish talk, Intelligent Shit Talk, where we balance the profound with the profane. Political satire, celebrity and expert guests, information and entertainment, conversation and solutions. Leave your feelings at the door.
What up, y'all? What up, y'all? We are here. About to talk that intelligent-ish talk. That intelligent shit talk. Yeah. What's up, Quanez? What's up, Butter Love? What's up, Guru Cam? Ramon James? Old Head Ivor. Thank y'all for joining the chat room. What's up, Tasha? It's a trade day. We are here live. We are here live. Today we're going to be talking about how this city, Los Angeles, California, conspires against its black business class. Y'all saw Bruce's Beach was returned back to the original owners, or the descendants of the original owners. But did you know that Bruce's Beach was not the only beach stolen from black people during that same time period? You know what I mean? No, Bruce's Beach was not the only place stolen. And how Los Angeles has kept up their assault on black businesses through modern times. How they are trying to take the Leimert Park Expo drum circle as we speak. You know, as you know, I speak on Los Angeles, but I'm not speaking on Los Angeles just because I'm from here. Well, I'm speaking on it because I am from here. That is a reason. But usually what happens here in LA is going to be spread throughout the rest of the country at some point. Because LA has a very, very, very sophisticated form of racism. It's not in your face. They're going to smile in your face. They're going to say all the right things to you. But behind your back, they be on some shady shit. And people in the other parts of the country, oftentimes, especially if you're down south, don't understand how shady the ones who acted as your allies are. You don't realize until after they took your shit. So this isn't one of those things where I'm over here just trying to big up my city. No. This ain't about big up and shit. This is about sending a call to the rest of the country and black spaces around the rest of the nation. Because I see right now in the Carolinas, you know, in the Midwest and all places, in Texas even, in New York even, y'all are starting to deal with a lot of Mexicans coming up. And when I hear these stories that y'all telling from the other parts of the country, I'm thinking, shit, that sounds like 30 years ago here. I'm like, man, that's what they was doing in LA back in 1989 when I was a kid. So I'm like, man, so as I see LA do more of this debauchery and bullshit, I'm like, let me go ahead and speak on it from my perspective so people who do live in other parts of the country where you're seeing a lot of changes demographically being made happen, you'll be aware. And you can tell your children and pass stories on down on how to combat against this bullshit. Yeah, we here. We are here. Shouts out to everybody that watched my broadcast yesterday on Karen Talib, whatever the hell his name is, that dude that does music that's only good when he's with other people who are good. Thank y'all for joining that Karen broadcast. Y'all know that nigga woke up this morning still on my Instagram feed, again, on my Instagram feed, running his mouth. I'm like, damn, nigga, I must have really fucked up your birthday with my words. And I'm glad I did. I don't take any of it back. It is what it is. It is what it is. I just have a rule. Don't start none, won't be none. That's just a general rule of black folks. Don't start none, won't be none. Oh, and tomorrow, I think, either tomorrow or Wednesday, I'm going to interview again the great legendary blues guitarist Bobby Rush. He's going to talk to us more about foundational black American history. He just wrote a book called I Ain't Studying Ya. He's talking about his experience through 85 plus years working as a man. And out of the 85 plus years, 70 in the music business. He's about to that book takes you through all that history. And so I'm going to interview him tomorrow to break it down and talk about it some more. Yeah, you're right, Keith Kelson. Yeah, that dude, Karen Khalid, is very obsessed with me. Dude literally woke up this morning on my Instagram feed. I'm like, damn, dude, I have 0 hits. Why are you talking to me? I dare you to find me going anywhere on his feed other than when he posted when he took a screenshot of he took a screenshot of something I said and put it on his page. I addressed that. But outside of that, you'd be hard pressed to find me anywhere ever in history, me saying anything on his page. But it is what it is. Yeah, social media is down right now. Facebook and Instagram seem to be down right now. You're right, Smoke Spitter. Talib did end up giving me more notoriety because people came over and heard my show and they saw how level-headed I am. I'm not no internet troll trying to be here and be all up in celebrity and get them. I don't need no damn celebrity's attention. Shit, I'm DwannBrown. God damn it. I don't give a fuck if I only got a few thousand followers. I'm still me. I'm the same me now as when I have 1 million. And matter of fact, I probably never get 1 million followers, honestly, because the shit that I talk ain't popular. I'm not doing this for popularity. If I wanted popularity, there are other things that I could talk about that'd get me much more popular. But I'm not doing this shit for popularity. I happen to possess a skill that recalls information accurately, and I have a good speaking voice. So I use that skill to pass information along to my brothers and sisters out there. That's my skill set. I don't give a shit about being famous and popular. I ain't got no time for that. But I still ooze all of the confidence your most famous nigga you know can dream of having. And so, you're right, E-Mac. Another tether tripping. Ain't nothing new. Ain't nothing new. Ain't nothing new. I bet you Talib is over there going out of his rat face looking mind right now with social media being down. You mean tell me he can't harass nobody? That nigga has to be in his own thoughts and not abdicate his personal responsibility to people online? Well, that nigga Talib is probably pulling his beard out right now. But again, I ain't here for that shit. I'm here to pass along information. How Los Angeles schemes against black business. And as I go through this broadcast with you today, please like. I have 135 watching, 57 likes. Like the video, please, and share it. As I go through this broadcast today, I'm going to bring it back full circle and give you my opinion. Again, I'm emphasize the word opinion because I do not know. I don't have any backdoor channels of information on this, but my opinion as to why Tariq ended up not getting the building on Crenshaw as he wanted, which I had concerns about initially, major concerns, but because I am on code, I never voiced those concerns because, hey, when brothers put their mind to something, I want to see them get it. My little bullshit ass concerns ain't got nothing on a man on a mission. So I didn't want anything I had to say to come off as anything not in support or wrong. I just understand the area. And I'm only doing this broadcast now because the brother said that he did not get the building that he wanted on Crenshaw. So I'm giving you my assumption as to why. But before I get to that assumption as to why, I'm going to set the foundation on how Los Angeles treats black businesses. And I'm going to start 100 years ago with what things that have gone on here. And y'all know I like getting on my map, so I'm gonna have my map up so I can tell you the proximity to all this shit. We know about Bruce's Beach. It was returned back to the descendants of the family over the week, some shit like that. It's cool because, and you see people in the picture that looks like Stephen Bradford back there, city councilman here in Gardena, who's done a great job, I will say. Shouts out to Stephen Bradford. I'm not gonna have the same heat for Stephen Bradford that I do for some of these other politicians that I will name as we go through the broadcast. But for those of you who don't know, the descendants of Bruce's Beach, Willie and Charles Bruce bought the land back in 1912. They were going to build a big old resort property on here that was going to be just for black folks because, as we know, LA is very segregated. And this was black people's area that was going to be just for us. The city of Manhattan Beach, the city of Los Angeles, state of California conspired together to seize the land, eminent domain, and take the land from the black family, taking out 100 years of generational wealth that could have been put on the books for these black people. But did you know about El Segundo Beach? Well, they did nearly the same thing. And let me show, before I read the article, let me show you how close these beaches are. As you see here on my browser, this is Bruce's Beach. Y'all see my cursor? Bruce's Beach is right here. The beach that I'm talking about in El Segundo, where they stole, is right here. El Portal Beach. You see the proximity? It's about 2 miles. It's about a 2-minute drive, 1-minute drive, depending on traffic. This is where Bruce's Beach was going to be. And this here's where that beach resort that I'm telling you about was going to be built a year before Bruce's Beach. So you would have had black business owners having 2 strongholds on the beach right here. But what happened? Los Angeles leaders offered beachfront property to a prominent black entrepreneur, Titus Alexander, to build a retreat for the city's fast-growing African-American population. Alexander envisioned opening black amusement resort on a coastal stretch near the southern tip of today Dockwater Beach in the city of El Segundo. Los Angeles initially agreed in 1923 to release 200 feet of city-owned beach to Alexander for 15 years. The land was part of a tract to purchase, the city purchased in 1892 for Hyperion Water Plant Reclamation Plant, which remains the city's primary sewage treatment facility. Los Angeles residents were outraged. El Segundo residents were outraged. City leaders enlisted Hermosa Beach, Redondo Beach, and LA businessmen to wage a bitter 18-month campaign that included petition drives, a lawsuit, and racist smears. In 1924, a judge issued a restraining order temporarily blocking the lease and demanding the LA mayor and council members testify why the project should go forward. I ain't never seen no shit like that go on for any of these other goddamn immigrants that came to this country, but that's another subject. Bowing to pressure, LA officials backed out of the lease agreement with Alexander. Another situation where African Americans were foiled, said Black historian Allison Rose Jefferson. Alexander's story has come to light as El Segundo reckons with its history of racism. In May, the city's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee recommended a review of El Segundo's troubled past. Fuck that shit. What the hell they mean, troubled past? Do y'all know how racist El Segundo is now? Do y'all know how racist El Segundo is now? El Segundo was one of those places that you as a black person don't want to go through now. This is another article. El Segundo used to be a sundown town. And right next to El Segundo was the city of Hawthorne, where the Beach Boys were raised. That also used to be a sundown town. What I don't like is they always try to make it seem like it's some past shit. Look at this. El Segundo, one of Los Angeles' whitest cities. Let me tell you something. I live about 7 minutes from the city of El Segundo, 10 minutes depending on traffic. Right down the street. When I ride my bike down the beach, I generally go to El Segundo. My mom worked at El Segundo for 30 years. El Segundo is a business town. It's like, that's where a lot of your tech company, like, that's LA's original tech bubble. It's since gotten expanded to Marina del Rey and Santa Monica Beach. But Raytheon, Aerospace, Northrop Grumman, Boeing, they all got footholds in El Segundo. DirecTV's there now. Los Angeles Times printing facility is now, where their headquarters is now in El Segundo. El Segundo's biggest tenant is the Chevron oil facility. And that place hasn't paid taxes like in forever. Here's the city of El Segundo. Y'all see LAX right here to the north. This is LAX. El Segundo is basically from this area where it says Imperial Highway, Century Freeway, to the 405 freeway down here. Although some of this right here, some of this area is Hawthorne. But El Segundo is basically from the street right here, Aviation, to Imperial Highway, to Rosecrans Boulevard, right here. Manhattan Beach starts down here, below Rosecrans. So this is the city of El Segundo. You see Raytheon here, the Los Angeles Air Force Base, Northrop Grumman, Aerospace is over here. All these different tech businesses over here off Douglas. So basically El Segundo, the city, the residents all live in this one jam-packed space here between El Segundo and Imperial Highway. This is where basically all of the city lives. And all that shit's white. I remember as a kid, I went to Overright Middle School, which was right over here. This is Westchester High School where I went. Westchester, Loyola Marymount, and right here is Overright Middle School. That's where I went to middle school. I remember we used to get these Klan letters dropped off in our lockers, and we're talking about 1993, 94. And they ended up arresting the man that was dropping off that Klan stuff, and the motherfucker lived right here in El Segundo. We knew going here to Overright Middle School, we could go to Westchester High School right here, but we couldn't go to El Segundo High. No sirree. They didn't want no black people up in this motherfucker. El Segundo is a very racist city with a racist present. Strike that past shit. racist present. All this area you see here is what's called the South Bay here in LA. Manhattan Beach is this area. And then you get into Redondo Beach, which is right here. And then as you get further, you're into Hermosa Beach. And then Palos Verdes is down here, whatever. Torrance. All these are very racist areas of LA. All this shit. So in the article, they're saying the city of Redondo Beach, which is down here. Manhattan Beach is still considered Bruce's Beach, but all this area got together to stop one black business developer from opening up a West Coast style Coney Island. They say here there was a surge in Ku Klux Klan activity and racism in the 20s. It wasn't just the Klan, it was the city. Oh, and to go back to that conversation I had with Karen Qualid, when I talked about Woodrow Wilson being more harmful to black Americans than Adolf Hitler was. And Woodrow Wilson was the person that learned, Adolf Hitler learned how to be a better Nazi from Woodrow Wilson, President Woodrow Wilson. On top of segregating federal employees, because federal employment was not segregated before Woodrow Wilson. Black people actually could work for the government and actually hold management positions over white people in the government until Woodrow Wilson stopped that in the 1915s. But Woodrow Wilson also showed that movie Birth of a Nation in the White House in 1915. Birth of a Nation reignited the Ku Klux Klan. The Ku Klux Klan was all but dead before he screened Birth of a Nation in the White House. After that, Ku Klux Klan activity went right back on the top, and it was at its highest level during the 1920s. So let's play devil's advocate with these devils and say it was just the Ku Klux Klan. Well, why was it the Ku Klux Klan? It was a Ku Klux Klan because the President of the United States screened Klan-friendly movie Birth of a Nation in the White House. The Klan had a part of it, but the Klan is backed by the government. The Klan, if they wanted to, if the Klan would have, look, if the government wasn't with them, the Klan could have came through and ran the niggas out, and the government would have came through and arrested those motherfucking Klan members and said, hey, black folks, come back over here. We got you. This is your land. You own it. The government didn't do that. They said, oh, them niggas don't like you. Them Klan don't like you? Well, shit. I guess you got to sell. This is how they do black people in Los Angeles. This article, I'm not going to read the whole article, but this article and the other articles that I'm putting in here, they're already in the description bar. So if you want to know more about what's going on and read it in further detail, I have the whole article of this already in the description bar of this video. But look what they did. The El Segundo Herald published a front page story which began, Titus Alexander, the gumshoe Negro whose activities for the elevation of his race by having them bathe in seawater lapping El Segundo's beautiful beach is likely to have his idea rudely shattered. This is how the newspaper used its propaganda wing to get the rest of those white residents on cold. The media uses its propaganda machine to rally white folks together on cold. Look at this. So, what does that have to do with today? Glad you asked. Because here in LA, people that's from LA in the chat room will vouch for this. going back to Dockweiler Beach. Dockweiler Beach, right here, you see, right here by this, the LAX airport. Got planes flying over you all day. You got a shit pipe right here, and you see this little ridge right here. That's a pipe that goes all the way out that all the sewage gets dumped out of from the Hyperion Bay shit factory. But this stretch of beach right here, Dockweiler Beach, this was always in LA my whole life, been the part of the beach where black folks go, right here. You can park here on Vista Del Mar. It's a few other parking spots. You got the RV park right here, and right here you have the bonfires. This was always the area for black people to go to the beach. Yeah, some black folks, you'll see us peppered around Venice Beach and Santa Monica. Yeah, you'll see us up there a little bit. But usually this is other folks' beach. Black folks, whenever black folks have events in LA, people born and raised in LA, if it's going to be a beach event, 9 out of 10 times, black people are going to have that event right here through the 80s, 90s, 2000s. That's what we're going to do. Why am I bringing this up? Well, in the last 5-6 years, the city of LA has had a concerted effort on ridding black people out of this beach. They started when they took off parking on this street here, Vista Del Mar. Now, in the rest of these beach cities, you can park near the beach. In Venice Beach, in Palisades, Will Rogers State Beach, you can park next to the beach all you want. Same thing we go down here. Manhattan Beach, Redondo Beach, you can park near the beach all you want. The only place you cannot park near the beach is Dockweiler Beach. I have a white friend who's from Manhattan Beach, and he told me a long time ago that the residents of Manhattan Beach, they always call Dockweiler Ethnic Beach. Because it's basically, that's where the niggas are. So they started out with that. They took away all of the public parking on this street. The next thing they did when that coronavirus hit was they made this beach the quarantine for the city. Out of all the beaches that they had that they could use for a quarantine, they used the one beach that black folks frequent and shut everything down, this whole parking lot down for over a year, so black people wouldn't have access to the one beach that we go to as a group. Somebody said they didn't know LA had a lot of black history. Yeah, because y'all be listening to these LA stories from all these goddamn people who ain't from LA. My family been in LA since the 1920s on one side, since the 40s on the other side. But that's another story. LA has a very, very strong black history and very strong black business class. And when you listen to these different programs that aren't from LA, they don't know what the fuck they talking about, because they just come in talking about what they see black people doing. You've never been able to see it in the black. One thing about black, let me tell you something about black business LA. The black professionals in business class in LA has always known we had to be underground with our shit. LA is not a place where a black businessman can walk out and say, I own this, I own that, and have his face everywhere. This city had come together so goddamn fast and take that shit. When you black and you own shit in LA, you got to be very low key, to the point that other black people don't even know you own it. See, down south, it's a lot of black businesses and stuff like that, so people can stick their head above the sand down there, because y'all outnumber, or if you don't outnumber, you have such a significant population, you can kind of go around and do about your day. But here in LA, black residents have always had such a small percentage of the population. The black business class can't go around boasting about what the fuck they own. Because like Dr. John Henry Clark said, black people can do anything we want here in America as long as we stay quiet about it. Here in LA, we've always known the minute we start boasting about what we got, the city will take it. Let's be clear. LA has a very strong black business class and a very quiet black business class when it comes to boasting. All that shit y'all see with niggas flashing, that ain't LA. All that flashing shit is what the poors do. That's what them broke niggas who ain't got shit do. Trying to go along to get along. Like my grandparents used to say, keep up with the Joneses. That's what them niggas do. Niggas in LA that got it like that don't go boasting. Nigga, LA got a code, nigga. You go boasting in LA, you don't get robbed. You better not boast if you got it in LA. Nigga, you gonna get robbed. So people come from out of town and they go around these different areas and say, oh, ain't black people running nothing. All right. Okay. All right. We'll let you keep thinking that. Because it's better off that you think we ain't got shit out here than for black businesses to put their head above water and get the shit scaffold cut off. What up, Larry? Tasha, Tasha in the chat room. Tasha knows shit. Tasha's been around a lot of the movers and shakers here in LA. Go around thinking we ain't running shit if you want to. All right. Which takes me over here to the Crenshaw District. Y'all heard about the Baldwin Hills Mall. The Baldwin Hills Mall was sold to non-black developers for less money than they were offering the black developers right here. What's up, Love Lace? I ain't seen you in the chat room in a minute. What's up? Good to have you in the chat room. We're going to go over here to Drum Circle Park, Leimert Park. This is what's going on right now. If you see right here, this is Leimert Park Drum Circle. This is Crenshaw and Angela's Vista. It says Vernon, but no, this is, I don't know what this shit is. It's Angela's Vista right here. This here is Chase Bank. And right over here is where our brother Tariq was talking about building the Hidden History Museum, somewhere over here. I don't know exactly because I never had the address. I just saw the video that he did, and I know what this building looks like to the right of that building he had, and I know what the building to the left looks like, so I was able to fill in it must be this building right here he was looking at purchasing. And the reason why I was concerned is because of what they're doing in this area right here. What they're doing, how they shut down this Leimert Park Plaza. This was always the drum circle. A few years ago, they put this big ugly ass gate up around the drum circle so we couldn't get in it. And then now they're turning it into a dog park. This is the Mecca, the center of black cultural festival activities, and it has been for over 40 years. Leimert Park. Up and down Leimert Park, Degnan Boulevard right here, you had the Expo, open air market. This city over the last couple years been doing everything they could to shut down this open air market where black businesses come and thrive. Free Rio, he did not know that. If he knew this, I need you to explain where and how you know he knew this. I don't let people just throw shit out of my chat room without being able to explain it. When I give broadcasts to people, I give details. I don't assume people know what I know. So I make sure to give details and give supporting reasons as to why I say what I say. If you said that and you know more, give us the details. If you can't give us the details, shut the fuck up. That's what I'm talking about. I see how our brother wanted to put things right there, is the museum right here, because this is the center of America, of black American excellence and black American culture in South Central LA. This is the absolute best place to put a museum. There is no better place to put a museum about foundational black American history than right here. But like our brother said, it's two people who own all this shit. A few people, not two people, but the same family that owned both places he wanted to buy owned both lots. And it's just a very few small concentrated amount of people who own property in this area. And as you see, even when we have the money to do something with it, they don't want to sell. So right now, I have this linked in the description bar also. And I encourage you to sign up on this campaign. I signed up for it to protect Leimert Park's African marketplace and drum circle, to keep it black community led. That's what they're doing. They're putting this together for Mark Ridley Thomas. This is more information on the African drum circle in Leimert Park and the culture. Look at this. This is typical on a Saturday on Degnan. Black people just out there having a good time. You ain't never gonna have no issues on Degnan Boulevard and 43rd. Never. Mind you, right down the street from here, if you look at the picture, let me see if I have a picture of it in here. Look at it. Black folks minding their own business. These black people for this expo, they did everything to secure permitting for this area to stay the way it is. So what did the city do? They changed the fucking laws so that the permits that were already handed out, that are already there for black people to use, are no longer valid because they changed the laws. That's how these motherfuckers act in LA. If you go back to here, this picture I have down here on the lead photo, that's the Vision Theater. If you saw the movie, what was the movie? The movie with Martin and Bobby Brown, A Thin Line. A Thin Line. This building used to be owned by, what's her name? From 227. Marta Gibbs. Marta Gibbs used to own this building. When you look at that scene on A Thin Line Between Love and Hate, Chocolate City, that was this building right here, the Vision Theater. That was this building right here. This is where Chocolate City was on that movie, formerly owned by Marla Gibbs. Also, this is home of the Comedy Act Theater. For those of you who aren't from LA, you may not know what the Comedy Act Theater was. The Comedy Act Theater was where black comedy got its roots on the West Coast. The Comedy Act Theater, the host was Robin Harris. Rest in peace, Robin Harris, man. That was my favorite as a kid. Robin Harris was the first celebrity death that hurt me. I was like 9 years old when he died. And that was the first celebrity to die that really broke my heart. I was like 9 because he was so funny. But Robin Harris, you know, if you saw Do the Right Thing, Robin Harris, he played Sweet Dick Willie. He was Kid's dad in House Party, That was Robin Harris. He was the host of this show at the Comedy Act. And basically, Def Comedy Jam got his whole stilo, his whole thing, his whole style from the Comedy Act Theater and Robin Harris. Because Robin Harris was a foundational Black American that wasn't about to go to Hollywood to get discovered. He made Hollywood come to him. At the Comedy Act Theater, Robin Harris's understudies were Martin Lawrence, Jamie Foxx. This is where they recruited the cast of In Living Color out of this Comedy Act Theater. Right down here. Joe Torre. You name them. If they were on In Living Color, if they were on the first couple seasons of Def Comedy Jam, they got recruited out of this theater. Yeah, Bebe's Kids. That's Robin Harris. This is how much Black people have done in this little small area of LA, being a minor percentage of the population. That's this area that I'm describing right here. You see, why is this happening? Let me take you somewhere else. And I'm going to tie it all in together, and I'm going to give you some people to look at. What else did LA do? Remember about 3 years ago? Damn, this is 3 years ago today. Shit. They closed the Starbucks in the Ladera Heights down. The one at this was when Magic Johnson entered his partnership with Starbucks. This was the first Starbucks that he opened. Right here in Ladera Heights, South LA, Ladera Heights. That's where Black people with money live. This Starbucks was always the most thriving Starbucks in the nation. There were times, plenty of articles written over the years about how this Starbucks stole more coffee than any other Starbucks in the country. This was a cultural hub of South LA. This was where you can get Black men you would see Black men playing chess, checkers, dominoes on the tables out front. This is where you saw, you get up 6, 7 in the morning because, that's part of Black culture in LA. Part of Black culture in LA is a lot of the older Black men have always hung out in coffee shops. Before Starbucks, it was Winchell's. I remember when I was a kid, my dad used to sometimes go play dominoes at the Winchell's over on Manchester and Main Street over on the east side. Coffee shops have always been a gathering hub for older Black men. And this was when my dad was young. My dad would go, when I found out later on why he would go, that's where he would go to sort of get wisdom from the older Black men. In LA, the coffee shop is where the Black men that are retired, older, vets, not working, whatever, that's where they hang. That's where they play chess. That's where they socialize. And when you a young brother in LA who want to get gamed up by some older Black people, to go to the coffee shop. Well, this Starbucks was that coffee shop for those of us on the west side. This Starbucks is where I can go ever since it opened in I think it opened up in late 90s, 2000, something like that. I think it opened up in 2000. That's where I can go and sit down and just be around older Black men and get some wisdom and get some bullshit. Well, they just shut this shit down out of nowhere. I mean, this was a major hangout place for Black America. And let me give you the proximity. Here's Leimert Park right here where I showed you on the map. And here is that Starbucks. Where's La Cienega? Where's La Cienega? Centinela? Boom, right here, somewhere over here. This was that Starbucks right here where it says Chase Bank now. So as you see, Leimert Park, you take Andrews Vista over to La Tierra, be at that Starbucks in 10 minutes. In 10 minutes from that Starbucks, you could be at the Black Beach, Dockweiler Beach. This is where the hub of Black LA has been the last 50 years. Right here, Inglewood, all in this area, right here. And this is where the Black folks with money be over here where it says Ladera Heights and Windsor Hills View Park. They took that from us because LA has been trying to slowly move black people out of the city. So they took the beach that we go to the most. They took the Starbucks where old and young will hang out in the same area at the same time, soaking up game and wisdom while they're actively trying to take Leimert Park. That's what this city is doing right now in 2021. Who's responsible? I'm glad you asked. This is one motherfucker we could look at right here. Mark Ridley Thomas. Mark Ridley Thomas has spent his whole time in office selling out black people. And these niggas keep voting for him. His whole time in the city assembly, on the city council, on all the different levels of government that he's been on here in South Central Los Angeles, this nigga has been doing nothing but selling black people short. This nigga right here. I knew he wasn't shit because I said it before. My dad knew him in him and my dad got in a fight back when they was in middle school. My dad was like, this nigga was a bully. So I went and got at his ass before he got at me. This thug. He has allowed the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Plaza to be sold to non-black people. When it came to this train line that they're building on Crenshaw, he ain't the one fighting for the businesses like that. Let me tell you something that he did a long time ago. This is a move that Mark Ridley Thomas made when I was a teenager that really affected my youth. Hardcore. Mark Ridley Thomas, here's Martin Luther King Boulevard. Here we go. This is the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Plaza right here. This where it says Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Plaza XD. This used to be the Magic Johnson Theater. This mall was built, well, this Macy's and this Macy's was already here. This Macy's was built by what's his name? Paul Revere Williams, designed by him. My Uncle Son helped build this building. Was one of the foremen on building this. This is the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Mall. This was built back in the 50s and the 60s, these two stores. The mall, by extension, was built in the late 80s, early 90s. That's when they built the rest of this mall to connect to the Sears that they already had. They already had this Sears. This was Broadway. I'm sorry, May Company, Robinson's May. And this used to be the Broadway right here. They already had those. They built this mall in the late 80s, early 90s, and made it all a mall. A mall that black people, for all intents and purposes, it was always a shitty mall. It was always a very shitty mall. I grew up over here on Chesapeake. This is my elementary school, Coliseum, where I grew up was somewhere over here in this area. I grew up over here, and this is where the mall was. So this is why this means so much to me. I grew up in this area over here, and this mall was right here. So I remember seeing this mall get built with my own eyes. Well, the only thing really good about this mall was a Magic Johnson Theater, because we didn't have any movie theaters in LA. The only thing that, in Black LA, we didn't have any theaters. The only theater that we had was over here, Coliseum in La Brea. This used to be the Baldwin Hills Theater over here, where my cursor is. This used to be the Baldwin Hills Theater. I remember my grandmother took me there to see The Color Purple. This is where niggas used to get shot out in front, because right here, this area right here is what the notorious area known as the Jungles. Rest in peace to brother T from BPS that passed away. This is where the Jungles were. So the only movie theater was here. Well, this movie theater shut down like in 1990. So if you were black in LA, the only other theater to go to was either by USC, or you had to come way over here to the marina to go to a movie theater. Either by USC over here or way over here to the marina. Magic built the theater right here. Very successful theater, employed black people. So after Magic Johnson built that theater, you see this whole plaza right here. This is where it says Village Cafe, Kaiser Permanente. This is called the Santa Barbara Plaza, because before they renamed Martin Luther King Boulevard, this was called Santa Barbara Boulevard before they renamed it MLK. If you look at that scene on Boys in the Hood, when Trey was leaving his mama's house and going to Furious's house, when they were in the car together, and when he was looking sad, they were driving down this street right here, Martin Luther King. And you saw all this in the background on that scene. Hell, on that scene where he called the kid an African booty scratcher. That was done at Hillcrest Elementary, which is right here. When he saw that dude get beat up and he called the dude African booty scratcher, that was filmed right here at Hillcrest Elementary. And my school, El Coliseum, was right down the street. This is where I went to school over here. This is where I saw plenty of drive-bys happen on my campus because of these niggas here in the jungles. Well, anyway, I digress. This here was an area that Magic Johnson was going to buy in 1998. He was going to build this whole plaza up. I'm sorry, over here. This one where you see all this green. He was going to build this whole shopping center right here. Magic Johnson had already shown and proved with his theater that when he builds things, it happens, and he employed nothing but black people at the theater. He was going to do the same right across the street right here. And this was great for me because in 1998, I was 17 years old. This is at the time I needed a job like that. Why didn't that happen? This nigga right here is why it didn't happen. Magic could not build that plaza because Mark Ridley Thomas said he wants his name on it, along with a few other hurdles that he wanted Magic to jump through for no unnecessary fucking reason. So guess what happened? The shopping center never got built, which means black people who grew up in that area, me, didn't have an opportunity to get our first job in our community because this nigga said no. So that's the kind of shit that Mark Ridley Thomas has been doing in South Central LA for damn near 30 years. Yet these niggas keep voting for him. Made sense as to why what's going on Crenshaw is going on when you got that kind of leadership. Herb Wesson is another. I don't have any issue. I don't have the same issues with Herb Wesson as I do Mark Ridley Thomas. But I see his face a lot when it comes to the music festivals. But when it comes time to standing up for black businesses, I don't hear much. Same with Holly Mitchell. Holly Mitchell's right now fighting for LGBTQs and people of color. She's on the Me Too bullshit. But I don't hear these names I don't hear these people's voices when I see what's going on with my people here in South Central LA. Danny Bakewell is another one. One of the few black people who owns a lot of real estate. I see his face everywhere, but Danny Bakewell, where you at? Oh yeah, they did make Danny Bakewell sell his property down here on Crenshaw and Slauson. This happened a few years ago. It's hard for me to find an article right now, but Danny Bakewell used to own this plaza right here that he was forced to sell about. I don't know if he was forced to, but he sold this right here to a developer for $29 million. Why would you sell a property for $30 million right here on Crenshaw and Slauson in 2019, right after Nipsey got killed, for only $30 million, when you know this same damn piece of land is gonna be worth over $100 million in a couple years? So maybe I'm gonna take Danny Bakewell off this list. Maybe Danny Bakewell was forced to sell that, and maybe there's nothing that he can do. Over here is where the Marathon store is. Because all this stuff was going on, mind you, Crenshaw, by the time Nipsey got killed, this is the Marathon store. Right here. This is the Fat Burger. This is the Marathon. This is the alley where that punk nigga came up and shot Nipsey, somewhere right here. And this is the alley where he was parked behind. Right over here. When that happened with our brother Nipsey, mind you, they had already put a gate up around Leimert Park Plaza. The gate was already up around African Drum Square. They were already trying to toss out this flea market already before Nipsey got killed. This here is Crenshaw High School. Boo. But this is what they've been doing to my city over the last few years. So when our brother, Mr. Tariq, was trying to get this property, man, I was just hoping that he could. But the fact that he couldn't didn't surprise me. I still salute him for trying. Because at the end of the day, you can't buy what somebody's not willing to sell. And I understand why he wanted to do it here. Because this literally is the heartbeat of conscious LA. It will be nothing, because this Degnan Boulevard right here, this expo, it could easily, especially if there's some kind of convention going on, it could easily be over 10,000 black people on this street, on the Drum Circle Boulevard. Like if Terrace Martin or somebody's doing some music, Kamasi, this also here is a home of black jazz. Terrace Martin, Kamasi Washington, the West Coast Get Down, all of you into West Coast jazz, right here. This is the hub of all of that, right here. So when they throw an event, it could easily be 10,000 black people right here. So it makes sense to have a black museum in walking distance. For those of you that are questioning why Tariq wanted the museum here, this was the absolute best place to put it. And the city knows that. The original K-Day, the original West Coast black hip hop radio station in the world, used to be right here. Where it says New Millennium, this building. Where Taco Bell is. Shouts out to Taco Bell, black owned taco company. Nigga said, and the Mexican, Taco Bell said, the Mexicans ain't gonna be the only ones getting this taco money. Taco Bell is the shit. Salute to Taco Bell. But right here, this is where the original K-Day is. The first West Coast hip hop, the first all hip hop radio station in America was right here. Right here. Mavericks Flat, right here. This was the liquor bank. I wasn't too mad about this place getting closed down. My homeboy Nate got killed right in front of this motherfucker in 2003. They killed that nigga in his Tahoe. A lot of people done got killed right there in Crenshaw. That's the notorious part of Crenshaw. But right here is Mavericks Flat. This is where Shalimar was discovered. This is where Howard Hewitt was a house singer. When Dick Griffey was putting together the band Shalimar, he discovered them here. This is where all the black acts in the 60s, when Earth and Fire, Parliament, before they were able to sell out huge venues, when they were making their way up, they would all perform here. The Whispers out of LA, this is where the Whispers were known to perform at. Lakeside, you named the 70s and 80s band that was popular, they performed here first at Mavericks Flat. This is what LA is currently, not 100 years ago, but right now, actively taking from Black LA. Actively. Black-owned businesses all up and down Crenshaw my whole life. So that's why I have such a high opinion of black people. Growing up over here in the Crenshaw District, every day I came home, yeah, we had the jungles right here, but I also had Baldwin Hills right here. All these wealthy black people. The wedding I was in yesterday, the reception was over here in Baldwin Vista. Wealthy black people, still. I got to see this every day. Growing up as a child. Simply Wholesome right here, black owned. All these businesses along Slauson being black owned. All these businesses along Crenshaw being black owned. And as you see, the reason why black people didn't own the real estate isn't because we didn't try. It's because they never sold to us. Just because they didn't sell us the real estate didn't stop black people from opening up businesses. I know what black people can do because I was raised around it and I still live around it. This is still my city, God damn it. And I see black people being great every fucking day in this city. But I also see a city that the minute black people peek their head above water and show, and then you find out it's a black person having that success, we have a city that uses its so-called black elected leadership to undermine what we're doing. So I say this as a warning shot to people across the country. When you see them closing things down and it don't make sense, especially cultural hubs, understand that that's the first step in them changing your whole area. What they did here in LA, what they're doing to us, is they're attacking our cultural hubs first. Because those cultural hubs are going to be the places where black people gather and compare notes. What's going on your block versus what's going on in my block. Then maybe we'll see some bullshit going on. So before they start the bullshit, they close the cultural hubs. Bruce's Beach. El Segundo Beach. They close the hubs of where we gather. The new SoFi Stadium. Y'all see where the football stadium is in the Forum. The first thing they do is close the cultural hubs of where you gather. Then once they close the cultural hubs, they do that while they're overpricing the real estate. So as one sells, it cannot be replaced by another black person because not enough of us make the income to keep the area. So take note of what they're doing here in this city. Compare notes as to what they're doing in your city. And do what we doing in LA. We fighting back. Nigga, let me tell you something. The people of LA ain't just taking this shit sitting down. We raising money. We raising awareness. We being the defiant motherfuckers we've always been. So don't pray for us. Join us. Because LA ain't taking this shit lying down. You dig? Let's see what y'all talking about here in the chat room. What y'all talking about here in the chat room? Somebody said, is Randy's any good? Hell yeah, Randy's is good. Shit, I grew up on Randy's. Shit, my mom, I knew the owners of Randy as a kid. Shit, Larry and Randy and Larry. They were twins. My mom dropped me off at school on the way to school. We stopped at Randy's. The owner, Larry, hi Rhonda. How you doing? Oh, you got Dwan back there today. I get the same thing when I go to Randy's Donuts. A plain glaze. I don't want all that extra fancy shit. Just give me Randy's plain glaze and I'm good. Yeah, same thing happened in Oakland. That's right, Tasha. You better not sell that apartment building. You got that building over in the Leimert Park. Shit. If you even thought about selling it, you better call me first. But don't ever sell that, Tasha. Ever. Shit, that building you got over in the Leimert Park, that's gold for your children. That's prime real estate. That's gold for your children right there. That's gold. Salute to your pops for setting everybody up. And yeah, we extreme minority here in LA, Mr. Trey Day. I don't know what's going on in Atlanta. I was very disappointed when they didn't re-elect Paul Howard out there. That disappointed me. Thank you, Quincy X. Want me to speak on the racism in Santa Monica? Same as the racism in Manhattan Beach. Very liberal, smile in your face, stab you in the back racism in Santa Monica. Yeah. Yeah, what else y'all talking about? You're right, Ivor. They can control where you live. They can't control your culture. Yeah. So this is what's going on. You know, when black people say that, you know, these things happen to us, we ain't bullshitting, man. We're not bullshitting. We are not bullshitting. And I don't want to hear that stuff about black people not owning nothing. I'm tired of hearing that shit. Maybe it's because my family's always owned shit. Here in Southern California. I've owned shit. My granddaddy bought a plot of land out there in what's now the Moreno Valley when he was 16 years old. We still own that plot of land. My family still has real estate here in South Central LA. And we ain't the only ones. A lot of people do. I know a lot of black people who own a lot of shit in this city. I know Tasha in chat room. I know you know. That's why people who are from LA, like if you try to talk about what black people don't own in LA, say that shit to Tasha Ray Hardy in the chat room. She gonna roll her motherfucking eyes, and so am I. I'm gonna be like, oh, this is another one of them outsiders that think they know what the fuck they talking about. Okay, here we go again. Black people don't own anything. Okay, whatever. All right, here you go with that cliche. Oh, no. You're gonna talk about the gangs next too? Okay. LA niggas, we so goddamn smooth, we don't necessarily feel the need to defend ourselves. Cause the moon don't bark back at the dog. We hear people all the time talking about our city. Most of the time, we just roll our eyes and be like, there go another one. Projecting his city's ineptitude, nonsense, and bullshit on us. Here we go. We've always owned shit. Whatever we don't own is because we've been kept out of owning. Whatever we don't own here is what we've been excluded out of owning. Somebody said, LA is full of immigrants. Well, them immigrants are coming to your city too, nigga. And let's see how your city look in 20 years. Like I said before, shit starts in LA before it ends up on your doorstep. So before you go running your goddamn mouth, what are you doing when the wave comes your way? And with all these immigrants in LA, we still run shit. Five Rangy, you said you work for a brother in LA, he owns about 25 apartment buildings? Yeah. I can name at least 12 people that I know right now, black, that own a minimum of 10 properties here in LA. A minimum of 10. I can name more that own less. But I can name at least 12 people who own at least 10 properties here in LA. Yeah. So before people get in on their high horse as to how their city's better and what niggas in LA ain't doing, take note, nigga. Take note. Take note. Because it's coming your way. What else y'all talking about here in the chat room? Oh, you said they're not coming to Philly? All right. You can think that. If you live in a city that's black dominant, I promise you they're coming. I promise you they're coming. Somebody said, let's see here. What else y'all talking about? You're right, Quanez. We all experience the same level of racism in your city. No place is no better, no place is less. If you're in the United States of America, you're experiencing racism. It just comes down to which flavor of racism you're experiencing. That's why I'm not in a big rush to move. Why would I move to some other city just for what's already happened here, for me to see it happen again in real time in front of that city? Nah, I plant my flag right here. I love the weather too much to leave. Now, I'm not against buying another piece of property somewhere else in the country. And if I did, it would probably be Dallas, because I have long historical roots in Dallas. I love Dallas. I love Alabama. I want to visit Virginia because I have long historical roots there too. But no, I'm right here. The weather's too good. Oh, you say the rent went up, the property values went up? Okay, I'll just make more money. See, LA is this is a hustler's paradise. When LA niggas see increased rent, increased property values, you know what we say? Shit, this means I'm gonna hustle a little bit harder. And? Oh, rent went up to $1,700 this month? Okay. Just mean I hustle, I get it. That's our mindset here in LA. This is a hustler's paradise. If you want to make money in LA, you're gonna make it. You're gonna make it. And I love Dallas. If I were to move, it'd probably be Dallas. But I see that when I was in Dallas a couple weeks ago, I saw in South Dallas the house my grandmother grew up in and their new white neighbor right across the street off Malcolm X Boulevard. I'm like, whoa. Okay. I see what they're doing in Dallas. Why would I uproot myself from here and move there just to see it happen again? And they got to deal with that hot ass weather and cold ass winter weather. Shit. I'm right here, nigga. I'm right here. Yeah, you Geechee motherfuckers are still fighting. Salute to the Geechee out there in the Carolinas and Georgia. That's right, love lady. She said you planted in Charlotte. That's right. White supremacy ends where you stand. You cannot run from white supremacy. The same thing we tell the immigrants about their country, or the same thing within the country. You can't run from this shit. You got to face it where you stand. And the descendants of Bruce's Beach did that. Yeah, some family members scattered across the nation, but they stood right here, 10 toes down in Southern California and fought for 100 fucking years. 100 years. 100 years of fighting. But they won. Because that's how we get down in LA. Nigga, we fight. We fight. And I do want to salute Stephen Bradford. That's the politician you see right here. I have seen him introduce he introduced a bill ending qualified immunity for police officers here in California. He was with the family of Bruce's Beach the whole way, advocating for them. So salute to Stephen Bradford. He is the councilman, the state senator over my district where I live now. And I voted for him. And I have seen Stephen Bradford. Yes, in LA, you do got to say black and brown because at the end of the day, you do got to get votes. So I get why politically he says that. But I have seen Stephen Bradford fight exclusively for black people. I have seen that. So, yes, I have my criticism of Mark Ridley Thomas. But I do want to give shouts out and credit to Stephen Bradford for fighting with black families. Now, as you know, Mr. Bradford, when it comes to your black support, and this is for all politicians, your support is on a 2-year or whatever your election cycle window is. If you get reelected every 2 years, you got 2 years to prove that you're on our side. If your election cycle is 4 years, you got 4 years to prove with your action you're on our side. As much as I'm praising him now, if he does something silly before the next time he's up for election, I will call him out. Because we have no permanent friends, especially in politics. We got people we fucks with when we have a similar agenda. So for right now, thank you, Stephen Bradford, for being on the right side of the Black First agenda. Thank you. But this ain't a permanent thank you. We're watching your every move to see what the next move you make is. And the move after that. And the move after that. And that's for all politicians, local and national. Yeah. You got to be really slow if you say I'm over here caping for it. If all that I said, if all of it, look, let's use this brother as an example. Nothing personal, my brother. But if all I said, you take that as a cape, I gotta question your listening comprehension skills, my brother. Jeez. You take information as a cape? See, that's why I always say it don't matter what you say sometimes, because people hear what they want to hear. It don't matter what you say sometimes. I do my best to be clear and concise, but people still gonna walk away with what they want to hear. Damn shame. You're right, Sugar Rosenblum. You can't run from this shit. This shit is nationwide. This shit is nationwide. Maxine Waters keeps getting reelected because she lives in an area with a whole bunch of old niggas and Mexicans that she speaks to. Maxine Waters, oh my God. Maxine Waters did right by LA at one point when she, back in the mid-'80s, called out Oliver North and the government bringing crack to LA. But she's been riding that wave for a long time. I don't fuck with the Orange County. I don't fuck with OC. It's a different breed of black people down in Orange County. This broadcast is about LA County. Down in Orange County, I don't know what them niggas is doing. Well, it's so I don't even know why you'd even want to live in Orange County if you black. I know a couple solid cats that live in Orange County that are black, but they're not from LA. As far as the niggas born in Orange County, you can't expect much out of them brothers. The brothers that are on code in Orange County usually are people who moved to Orange County from another state. Yeah. That's what we talking about here in LA. LA, black people, we've always had a fighting spirit, man. And we gonna keep fighting because this Bruce's Beach is just the first. This is just the first. The first of many, my brother. Yeah, it's a whole bunch of people, Quan, as I see, migrating to Texas from California. It's a lot of people that's giving up here in California going to Texas. And I get it. Texas got a whole bunch of jobs due to deregulation, cheap housing prices. But I ain't one of them. I lost at least 10 classmates to Texas. I lost more to way more people I know that moved out of LA, but I can name at least 10 people I know that moved to Texas from LA just in the last 5 years. Yeah, but that's what I wanted to come with you guys with today. You said, what's the deal with Orange County? Orange County is Nazi land. That's where a lot of the Nazis were relocated, specifically Laguna Beach. Orange County was white town. Like Irvine, California was a whites only planned community up until 1981. Keith Kell said, but it's still Texas. No thanks. You goddamn right about. I love Dallas, nigga. I'm not moving no damn Texas. I will visit Texas. I go so far as to have a second residence in Texas, but I am not living there no year round. I love the beach. I like riding my bike down the beach. And I just had my surgery. So in 2 weeks, when I'm done with recovery, I'll be able to get back out there on my bike. I'll be able to get out there on my bike. That's right. I'm with you right there. The only thing I like about Texas is you can carry a gun. But LA just approved concealed carry. And not approved, they just LA started allowing concealed carry permits to be given out for the first time in like 50 years. I'm getting mine. I appreciate that, Manny. Yeah, I'm getting better, man. That surgery was good because like I hadn't been able to work out or do anything active for over 3 years. Because I had a situation going on that I don't want to get too much into details, but it was fucking me. It was fucking me up. Every time I get into a workout pattern, boom. So my surgery was to repair that issue. So hopefully, not hopefully, so now that I've had this surgery, I'll be able to get back to getting on my bike. Right? Because right before this last time, this injury I had before, what caused me to have surgery, I was up to 12 miles a day on my bike and 40 minutes a day on my heavy bag. You know how it is when you're working out, it should be hard as fuck, and then you break through, and then you hit that point to where that point to where you could just start going and you don't get tired. I had just reached that point this past May, and then boom, doctor was like, nope, you gotta sit down. Like shit, I've been waiting years to reach that point where I get that breakthrough where I could just work out and not get tired. Nope, had to sit my fat ass right on back down for another 4 months, 5 months. So hopefully the surgery cleared the issue up for good. So the next time when I start my workouts back in 2 weeks, when I get to that breakthrough point, hopefully I'll be able to keep pushing through without having to sit down again. Oh, that dude said all you need is hands to carry a gun. Well, I'm not going to argue with you there, buddy. But yeah, I'm feeling better because right after the surgery, I was fucked up. Because when they work on operate on your neck, nigga, that's where all your nerves are. So every nerve in my body was fucked up Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Nigga, it hurt. I couldn't play video games on Friday, man. I don't even play my PlayStation like that no more. But I figured since I'm recovering from surgery and I can't really do nothing else, let me just play some video games. Nope. Nigga, my hands was in pain from the nerves. Nigga, my Percocet wasn't doing nothing. The Percocet was like, what's this? My body was like, get this little ass tablet out of here. You still gonna be in pain, nigga. But I doubled up on them hoes. And as of yesterday, I haven't needed to take any Percocet, any painkillers. I hate them painkillers, man. And no, don't you niggas out there ask me for my extras. Nope. Nope, I ain't nope. I don't play that game, nigga. Whatever's prescribed to me stays with me. I asked somebody the other day, was like, man, You gonna use all them perks? Yes, nigga, I am. I'm not giving them to you. I'm not breaking the law for your ass, nigga. So hopefully I'll never need them again, but I will keep them around just in case my body goes through something similar. Yeah, so I'm gonna get back to my old general athletic self. I was always known here in LA as that fat nigga that can hoop. I ain't been that in a long time because of these injuries. But this surgery now opened a space for me to get back to that. But thank y'all for joining me. I'm about to get up out of here. I got shit to do today. Let me know if you want me to do my business now that my surgery's out the way and all the other stuff is out the way. My schedule is back clear to do Mixcloud. Download Mixcloud right now. The link is in the description box for my live music breakdowns. I may do one tonight. If you want me to, go ahead and inbox me and I'll go ahead and do it. But I think I'm gonna do it anyway. We'll see. We're gonna be talking about that music. I'm gonna be playing the music and give you the background while I do it. Remember this, there are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those who are willing to pick up the game. My name is Dwan. We out.